Hey lads, Mark from Sparkle Shed here. I decided to do a little quick video and talk about where my car came from. It's kind of got an interesting little story behind it, and funnily enough, a lot of you guys out there might have actually seen this car before I did. So I was online one day, and my usual kind of keeping an eye out in the background to see if there's any kind of 240, 260, 280s knocking around, and lo and behold, this one did pop up, and it looked in relatively okay condition. So when I inquired into it, turns out it was a failed auction from Madison's auctioneers over in the UK. So rang them up, got a little bit of background on it, and threw in a bid and won it. And it kind of had a reserve, and I kind of went in below that and managed to get it to such a stage that they were happy with it. So went in and organised to get it collected and got it sent over to a transport company. It all happened quite quick, I think over 4 or 5 days, and then bang, it just arrived here in the yard. So delighted, you can see there, it's quite a nice little machine. But I think it was the next day I got a phone call then from this production agency over in the UK, and they explained that that car was on Madison's and was actually part of the TV series Bangers and Cash, and that it featured in it, and they kind of just wanted to just follow up to see where it had gone after that. So they were originally going to come over and do a quick little outro film of it, but because of COVID there was no way we could meet up and have a chat, so it was just basically, it was sold to a guy in Ireland and that was it. So yeah, got myself a little bit of a car with a bit of history. It itself is from Florida as far as I can remember, and bought it sight unseen. Could see some evidence that the floor had rust on it, but I couldn't really tell too much. But from all the shots I could see, I kind of knew that it wasn't too big a project. I had a 280ZX before, and oh my god, it was an absolute disaster. It was a scary canary in from London, and I went and towed it home back in 2002. And when I just started tearing into it, it had body kits that were hiding rust, and it's just an absolute disaster. I tried to rescue that one, that was a pure fail. So I knew with this one that it was going to be fairly straightforward, although I am taking my time at it. Nothing has been too extensively changed on it so far. I'm under an apple tree here, and every now and then an apple comes down within close range, so if you hear any banging in the background, it's just me near to getting hit by an apple. So as far as the design of the car goes, I was actually going to be modifying it quite a bit and seeing how clean a lot of the wheel arches were and everything. I feel that I can't actually do it to it. I can't actually cut out and flare the wheel arches. I do see a few 280Zs out there with nice wide wheels that are kind of just borderline on the edge of the rims or on the edge of the arches. So I think I'm going to respect the original lines of the car and original shape, although I will be changing the front air dam. But overall I think the car will stay very, very similar to the way it was. The engine, on the other hand, I'm so torn over this. I actually have a Volvo T6 twin turbo engine to go into it with a Volvo is it a G90 gearbox? I can't remember the exact model of it. And I looked into going the Skyline direction, but those engines are just making bonkers money, and the T6 will actually give me the same if not more power without actually doing too much work. The T6 will come in with a quick flash at 325 brake. If I change up the turbo, it'll be easy up around 450. That's plenty. I don't need any more than that. A fairly naked Skyline engine is around 3 grand. The T6 was 500. So I was like, there's a few quid to spare there. The ECU that's on the T6 are quite tunable, so I don't actually need to go and get a separate ECU, but I'm still debating if I need to go down that road yet. I know it is kind of a killer to step away from the brand of the car to a Volvo of all things, but I think just for now, getting it on the road and having a very, very modern engine is the way I'm going to go for now. In the background, I'm thinking then of getting another L28 engine and maybe stroking it and just start building on that over the next few years, and then eventually I might sub back in the original engine into it just to kind of maintain its value as it should have been. But I think for now I'm just going to go for an easy quick tune, just swap in the new engine, and fingers crossed it won't be too tough to get that in there. As for registering the car in Ireland, when I came into the UK, I was obviously set up to go into the UK. It was all above board. but when it comes into Ireland, we've got a beautiful tax. I would call it a stealth tax. That's on cars. It's called VRT, Vehicle Registration Tax. And this is on top of, if anything that came in from the UK since Brexit, VRT and duty. Luckily enough, I had my car just brought in just before Brexit. But unlucky for me was I didn't go and pay for my VRT straight away. To get the VRT paid in your car, it needs to be running, and you need to be able to go from A to B. And in the case of when my car arrived, it would run and then stop, run and stop. And I just lost patience during the middle of COVID, so I just went off and stripped it. And since then I chatted to Revenue to see what the story was, and they said that I'm being fined 20 cents a day. Ouch. So there's a little bit of a ticking clock on this project. In the background there's a 20 cent a day fine being thrown on it. Not really that much. Yeah, so that kind of sums up where it goes on taxes in Ireland. As far as insurance is concerned, the few insurance companies I've talked to, they said that once the engine size doesn't really increase by more than 400cc, they don't really care. So we got a quote from First Ireland so far, and they seem to be reasonable. Going to the Volvo, it's only 200cc's more, and I did say you do realise there's two turbos in that, and they were like, they don't care. So happy wins there. So it's been a really warm weekend here, so I can't actually work in the shed, it's too hot. Another 240Z over here, as you can see. It's got a lot of rust that needs to be dealt with, so I'm doing that outside this weekend, so not too bad. But yeah, just tight for here. But yeah, that sums up everything. I hope to get a bit more momentum on this now. Once the summer kind of finishes off, I'll be in the shed a little bit more frequently, and get onto a more mechanical based getting the engine fitted in, trying to see if we can get that yoke running later in the year. Try and get that yoke running later in the year, hopefully sounding better than that. And yeah, get this project rolling on all four wheels. That's the main thing now. Any subscribe you can throw my way, guys, it'd be really nice. It's nice to see the numbers begin to come in there now at the moment, so it's a little bit of a drive to keep on making videos. For now, guys, that's all. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye bye.